Mushahid Hussain Sahab, who himself is a pioneer in so many aspects and has brought so many policy changes and frameworks and included so many legal changes as well.
Let's call the others.
Right. I would. All right. He's a renowned figure. I believe everybody knows who Senator Mushahid Hussain is.
The lady in red.
Right. Next, we have Ambassador Nagmana Hashmi. She is a diplomat with over 37 years of experience in Pakistan's foreign services. She's held key ambassadorial roles in China, the European Union, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Ireland. And currently, she's serving in various directions and advisory roles as well, and also directorial roles. She's the author of Magnificent Pak and Pak-China All-Weather Friendship. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Senator Mushahid Hussain, for Ambassador Nagmana Hashmi Sahiba, and of course, we're joined by Dr. Neelam Nigar, who is a Pakistani economist and strategic affairs expert, currently serving as Director of Center of Strategic Perspectives at the ISSI. She holds a PhD in economics from BIDE, which is an esteemed institute in economics. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have also been joined by engineer Khalid Bashir Sahab. Thank you so much for joining. He is an experienced mechanical engineer with a strong leadership background and is a graduate from the University of Engineering and Technology, Lahore. And he's currently serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Zirba Private Limited, an engineering and contracting company. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, but not of course the least, we've been joined by Dr. Syed Kaleem Imam, who is a distinguished officer of the Pakistan Police Services, known for his professionalism and leadership in national and international policing, and has held several key positions. But not just that, he holds a PhD in politics and international relations and LLM in the human rights law from United Kingdom, along with other degrees in law and philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Dr. Syed Kaleem Imam. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the roundtable to Pakistan and Geoeconomics under the chairship of Senator Mushahid Hussain Sahab.
Thank you very much. Just a few words of introduction. Very warm welcome to the distinguished panelists sitting on the podium. They are all specialists and experts in their own right. And I'm glad there's a gender balance, 50-50. Although when I went to China as a student, I was studying in FC College, and I saw the quotation of Chairman Mao. He said, "Women hold half the sky." And when Nagmana was ambassador during the COVID, she held more than half the sky for Pakistan and for the Pakistani students who were there during the COVID. It's a great pleasure to be here, especially for the Sanober Institute, which in a very short period has emerged as one of the premier think tanks. And I would like to especially compliment their leadership, led by Azaz Ahmed Chaudhry Saab. He's a man of letters also, one of the finest in the Pakistan Foreign Service. And every book of his is a bestseller. So I'm looking forward, and I'm an avid reader of his books, by the way. So I hope we look forward to your next book, sir. And also Dr. Kamar Chima Saab. And I was traveling from Istanbul yesterday, and I was seeing Dr. Kamar Chima in the Istanbul International Airport. And he was fighting the case for the narrative for the Muslim world, and with facts, logic, and wisdom, and with a smile. And he was the one during the Indian aggression against Pakistan. Last May, he was one of the persons who was spearheading Pakistan's narrative on Indian television channels, who were trying to attack him from all sides like Doberman, but he fended them off with a smile and with facts. So my compliments to both of you for a job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important topic, Pakistan and the world disorder, and now we are going to be discussing geoeconomics in this panel. And before I hand over to our experts to start off, each presentation should be limited to max of 8 or 10 minutes, if it's okay, so we can have more time for discussion and questions. And when we talk of the world disorder, and I felt very proud. I was 2 days ago in meeting President Erdogan in Istanbul at the Dolmabahce Palace. And it was a group meeting of people from 12 different Asian countries. And he especially mentioned and complimented Pakistan. And And he mentioned the role of Pakistan, and he said that Pakistan is playing a leadership role. And I also mentioned that, sir, you are also in that role because the Muslim Quad is now a reality. Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. And he has strategic clarity on the issue of Zionism, on the issue of Netanyahu, and also on the need of Muslim unity. Just a few words that on this situation. Number one, that Pakistanis, we feel a certain pride, and our role continues. I feel that this pause, it's not a breakdown, it's a stalemate, and we can still avert a major war because both sides, Iran, which is the victim of aggression, and US, which launched the aggression, both need to avert another round, and both would be keen that somehow they can find a way out of this scenario, especially the United States. And secondly, I was reading this morning the article by David Ignatius, who is one of the leading experts in the Washington Post. And he said that basically Trump still wants to avert another round of war, and he still wants his main focus is an exit from the war as quickly as possible. And he gave this assessment, he says, after talking to the negotiators who were in Pakistan. And David Ignatius is one of the leading national security experts in Washington, D.C. for the Washington Post. Secondly, today I was listening also and reading the Chinese Defense Minister, Admiral Dong Jun, has for the first time, I think, issued some sort of a warning. He said that the Strait of Hormuz is open to Chinese ships, Chinese trading. And he said that China and Iran have a very close relationship, and this relationship is continuing at different levels. And I think in a veiled warning, because the US talked of interdicting ships, he said that the other countries should not meddle in the affairs of the Strait of Hormuz, from the Chinese defense minister just now. And finally, and I was just being interviewed last night also, like Dr. Kamachima Saab, by the Al Jazeera, and they asked me about the blockade. And I said, this blockade defies logic. It's very convoluted logic that President Trump and the US are saying they want to impose a blockade in order to open the Strait of Hormuz, which was already open when the war began. They said the blockade is to open the Strait of Hormuz. So they have to blockade it, which was already open when the war began. I said, this reminds me of the logic in the Vietnam War. There was a Lieutenant Kelly who did a massacre in My Lai. And he was asked at this trial, he said, why did you destroy the village? He said, we had to destroy the village in order to save the village. So this is the argument they have. I think that sanity should prevail, international law should prevail, the UN Charter should prevail. And I'm very happy that Pakistan is at the center both of geopolitics and geoeconomics, because of our location, because of our role, because of our outreach, and our diplomacy and defense. Thank you very much.